On January 7, 2020, the music world stood still. Fans of Rush woke up to heartbreaking news. Neil Peart had passed away after a private battle with brain cancer. For millions, it felt like the end of an era. But for Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, it was much more than losing a bandmate. They had lost one of their closest friends, a man they had shared nearly 5 decades of life, music, and unforgettable memories with. Rush had always been built on an extraordinary bond. Since the mid-1970s, Geddy, Alex, and Neil had traveled the world together, creating some of rock's most ambitious albums and legendary live performances. Even after the band's final tour in 2015, they remained connected through friendship, knowing Neil had retired from touring to spend more time with his family. Neil's illness was kept private. Only a small circle of family and close friends knew about his diagnosis. When the news became public, fans were shocked, and so were many people in the music industry. Tributes poured in from fellow musicians, while Rush fans gathered around the world to celebrate Neil's remarkable legacy as one of rock's greatest drummers and lyricists. For Geddy and Alex, however, the grief was deeply personal. In later interviews, both admitted there was a period when they simply couldn't imagine making music together again. Every rehearsal room, every song, and every memory reminded them of the missing third member who had always completed the circle. It wasn't just the end of Rush. It felt like the end of a lifelong chapter they never expected to close so suddenly. But time has a way of changing perspective. Slowly, without any grand plan or public announcement, something unexpected began to happen. Old friends started talking again. Instruments came back into their hands, and music quietly found its way back into their lives. Neither Geddy nor Alex knew it then, but this first small step would eventually lead them toward a new kind of hope, one that honored Neil's memory, instead of trying to replace it. As the first wave of grief slowly eased, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson found themselves leaning on something that had always been at the heart of Rush, their friendship. Instead of rushing back into music, they spent time simply talking, sharing memories, and helping each other through one of the hardest periods of their lives. Alex later revealed that the loss affected him deeply, both emotionally and physically. He admitted there were times when picking up a guitar felt almost impossible. Geddy experienced something similar. After spending nearly 50 years creating music with the same two people, it was difficult to imagine what making music without Neil would even look like. One thing became clear very quickly. Rush would not continue with another drummer. Both Geddy and Alex have repeatedly said that Neil Peart was irreplaceable. They have made it clear that Rush, as fans knew it, ended with Neil. This wasn't just about finding another musician with incredible technical skills. It was about the unique chemistry, trust, and friendship the three had built over decades. Even so, neither man wanted music to disappear completely from their lives. Alex continued recovering from health challenges while occasionally recording and collaborating with other artists. Geddy turned his attention to writing and eventually released his memoir, allowing him to reflect on his life, his career, and his lifelong friendship with Neil and Alex. Without realizing it, both men were healing in different ways. They weren't trying to recreate the past. Instead, they were learning how to carry Rush's legacy with them while remaining open to whatever the future might bring. Then, an unexpected opportunity appeared, one that would gently bring the two old friends back onto the stage together. It wasn't a Rush reunion, and it wasn't an attempt to replace Neil, but it reminded Geddy and Alex that the joy of making music together had never truly disappeared. The turning point came in 2022. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson were invited to perform at the star-studded tribute concerts for Taylor Hawkins, the beloved drummer of the Foo Fighters, who had passed away earlier that year. The concerts were emotional from start to finish. They weren't about replacing someone who had been lost. They were about celebrating a friend through music. That message deeply resonated with Geddy and Alex because it reflected exactly how they felt about Neil Peart. When the two former Rush bandmates walked onto the stage together, fans immediately sensed something special. It was the first time many had seen them perform Rush songs since Neil's passing. Instead of one drummer, several world-class drummers, including Omar Hakim and Big Grohl, shared the responsibility during the performances. The arrangement wasn't meant to fill Neil's place. Rather, it highlighted the respect everyone had for his unmatched legacy. For Geddy and Alex, the performance became something they hadn't expected. Standing together again reminded them of the powerful connection they still shared. The music felt familiar, but the experience was different. It wasn't about looking backward with sadness. It was about honoring the past while discovering that performing could still bring joy. Fans noticed it too. The smiles, the energy, and the genuine emotion between the two musicians sparked conversations around the world. Could this be the beginning of something new? At that moment, neither Geddy nor Alex was promising future tours or a revival of Rush. But the concert proved something important. Music could still bring healing. Sharing a stage didn't erase the pain of losing Neil, but it reminded them that his influence would always be part of every note they played. That unforgettable night planted a seed, one that would continue to grow as new opportunities and unexpected collaborations began to appear, opening a door neither musician had planned to walk through. After the Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts, fans began to notice a subtle but meaningful change. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson weren't talking about bringing Rush back. Instead, they were talking about enjoying music again. The pressure of living up to the past had faded, replaced by a simple desire to play because they loved it. Over the next couple of years, the two remained active in different ways. Alex continued recording with his band Envy of None, exploring a fresh musical direction that showcased his creativity outside of Rush. Geddy stayed busy promoting his memoir, My Effin' Life, meeting fans around the world and reflecting on the incredible journey he had shared with Neil and Alex. Then came another surprise. During interviews, Geddy and Alex revealed they had been getting together to jam casually. There was no grand plan, no album announcement, and no promise of a new band. They simply enjoyed spending time together, playing music as friends again. Alex even joked that they were just jamming, while Geddy said they were seeing where the music might lead. Those comments ignited excitement across the rock community. Fans understood that this wasn't a Rush reunion. Both musicians remained firm that Neil Peart could never be replaced, but hearing that they were creating music together again was encouraging. It showed they had found a way to move forward without leaving Neil's memory behind. In many ways, this became their new definition of hope. Instead of trying to recreate the past, they embraced the freedom to explore the future, one rehearsal, one conversation, and one song at a time. That quiet return to making music would soon lead to an even bigger moment. An unexpected collaboration with a remarkable drummer would remind fans why Geddy and Alex still had so much left to say together. As Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson grew more comfortable playing together again, fans naturally began asking the same question: what's next? The answer wasn't another Rush tour. Instead, it became something entirely different, a chance to create without the weight of trying to recreate the past. In 2025, the two musicians announced the 50-something Tour, a series of live performances celebrating more than 50 years of their musical journey. They made it clear that the shows were not a Rush reunion. Rather, they were an opportunity to celebrate the music, the friendship, and the spirit that had connected them for decades while honoring Neil Peart's lasting influence. To help bring that vision to life, they invited acclaimed German drummer Annika Nilles to join them. Known for her remarkable technical skill, musical creativity, and deep respect for Rush's catalog, Nilles earned praise from both Geddy and Alex during rehearsals. Her role was never to replace Neil, a task both musicians have consistently said is impossible, but to help perform the music with authenticity while bringing her own voice to the stage. That distinction mattered. Every interview reinforced the same message: Neil Peart's place in Rush's history is permanent. The new performances were about celebrating what the three friends built together, not rewriting that story. Fans responded with overwhelming enthusiasm. Many said the performances felt less like a comeback and more like a celebration of resilience. After years of grief, Geddy and Alex had found a way to smile on stage again, proving that moving forward doesn't mean leaving someone behind. What began with unimaginable loss had slowly become a story of healing, friendship, and renewed purpose, and in the final chapter, we'll see why Geddy Lee believes Neil's legacy isn't fading with time. It continues to guide every note, every performance, and every new beginning.